Well, Wall Street's plunging losses today, triggering fears of a broader banking crisis. The Dow and S&P both ending in the red, with the Nasdaq inching up nearly 6 points just before close. Investors, though, lost confidence in Europe's second largest bank, and that led to losses for a slew of U.S. banks, including Chase. Comes after President Biden called on Congress to boost banking regulations following the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. So helping us maybe better understand and make sense of all of this is Cory Johnson, who is Hedge fund manager and the Drill Down podcast host. Cory, thank you for speaking with us. There's a lot of Americans who see these headlines, are reading about this news, but they don't bank with SVB or they don't trade stocks. So how does today's Wall Street move really impact them, apart from the 401ks? Because I think a lot of people do understand 401ks will naturally be impacted as well.
Yeah, unless you're retiring tomorrow, you probably don't worry about the change in your 401k price today. And indeed, if you're going to retire and only retire for a single day tomorrow, it would be a big deal. So I think that the day-to-day look at Wall Street doesn't help us think about our retirement, doesn't help us think about our savings very well. But sometimes it indicates a change in business, and we've seen some really important changes in business take root in the last couple of days. And one of the things we saw was the result of interest rates going higher. We think about interest rates often, we're thinking about the cost of our mortgage or our credit card. But what we saw from this bank, Silicon Valley Bank, is they very badly managed their own credit. And they took some risks on securities. It didn't work out for them. On treasury bonds, I don't need to get the details because they fundamentally don't matter. That bank failed, and yet the U.S. government, the Department of Treasury in particular, worked out this weekend a way to make sure that every single person and every single company with money deposited at that bank was going to be made good. And they also came out and said anyone at any other important bank in this country will also be made good, not just up to the $250,000 FDIC level, but at stages beyond that, which meant it was protecting paychecks, it was protecting the businesses that were counting on their bank deposits to be good.
All right, so Cory, you mentioned the fact that, it's these small banks that were mismanaging their credit, but what about the big banks? I mean, is it possible that if the small banks are doing it, the big banks are doing it as well? I mean, how widespread could this end up being?
Well, I'm certain that there is another small bank out there that's screwed up, just like Silicon Valley Bank did. And to be sure, Silicon Valley Bank is a big bank. It was one of the 16th largest bank in the country. It's the second biggest bank failure in American history. So that's a big deal. But the notion that this is going to cause people pain is really important. The business can fail, and yet the businesses that use that business look like they're going to be okay. And I think that's the important takeaway here, that the worries for the equity holders, the stockholders in Silicon Valley Bank, yeah, they're going to lose some money. But the regular people who are doing business with their banks are well protected right now. In fact, probably better protected than at any time in human history today.
Oh, that's certainly reassuring. Last question for you, though. Of course, because we continue to deal with this stubborn inflation. We keep hearing about layoffs across multiple industries. Just most recently, Meta announcing more yesterday. There's likely another interest rate increase on the horizon within the next few days. How does this banking crisis further impact our larger and kind of bleaker economic outlook right now?
Well, all to be sure, although I'll say that while we hear news of layoffs, employment is up. We've had fantastic gains in employment. Unemployment is historically low right now. So when you hear the bell ring of a layoff, even a big layoff like Facebook and 10,000 people, you've got to hear the cacophony of all the sounds of hiring and employment. Employment is strong in America. That's one of the reasons we have inflation persisting. Now, the inflation measures are tricky to look at, but generally inflation has been getting better. We'll see some more numbers tomorrow about that. We continue to get reads on it, but inflation seems to be coming down. Employment is very strong right now. Wages are increasing right now. Remember, when you hear about inflation sometimes, one of the biggest drivers of inflation is healthcare, and the biggest contributor to healthcare costs going up is people getting paid more money. So when I hear about inflation and more money is going into my wallet, I have no complaints. And so I think that what we really got to look at is in the totality, we see employment getting better, even though we see some layoffs. We see affordability kind of right on the margin. Even as prices are going up, wages are going up as well.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.